There's a wasp nest right there. Come on in, boy. Be careful of this glass. Well, good morning. It's currently 6:30 AM. Lids and I are just about to head over for a gym session at the farmhouse. Last night, before we settled down to watch some TV, I crashed the Aston Martin on the driveway. I'm going to explain. So, basically we're having the kitchen garden, the actual beds redone. So they're going to be now made out of solid oak. So they're going to be a better quality material. They're going to last for like twice as long. And the aesthetic of that space will look possibly like a lot lighter and fresher and a lot more in line with what Lydia's initial vision was. That's being changed, which means that there's lots of building works going on. I've got a big skip on the drive here, and we've got all of this wood that's stacked up, which is actually where I've crashed the car. So because of all of the vans that are on the drive yesterday, we'd moved all the cars around and I'd actually blocked in the Range Rover, and I thought I'd move the Aston tonight, so tomorrow morning when we get up early we can just get in the car and go. And it was pitch black. I hadn't assessed the driveway. I had just seen, obviously there was a big skip on here, so I thought I'll make sure I avoid that. And I've pulled the car forward to then start to reverse it, and as I pulled the car forward I've drove into, as you can see, that plank of wood stack just there. And looking at it now, it actually doesn't look too bad. I came out last night and gave it a good sort of like wipe over with a microfiber cloth, but I think I might need to get fill out to do a little bit of detailing, and then possibly, worst case, I might have to get it resprayed. But quite lucky by the looks of it. You can see here it's actually really good. It's actually iced over, but you can see there all the lines that come across. A little scratch on the top there, and there is an actual scratch line that goes across here like this, but I'm actually surprised because it's nowhere near as bad as I first thought. I feel like I've just made a mountain out of a molehill by telling you this story, but last night it looked so much worse before I'd cleaned it up, and actually overnight it almost looks like it's settled down. But yes, not the best way to end your Friday, but hey ho, these things happen. And as you can see, this is the stack of wood that I hit. So the actual splitter hit the corners of the wood here, and of course I had to try to avoid the big skip on the driveway. But the good news is that the project in the garden is coming on leaps and bounds. They made so much progress on Thursday and Friday this week, so that's really promising. And I had a good evening last night regardless of hitting the splitter on the Aston. We just sat down, chilled, watched a little bit of TV and had an early night. So I'm feeling fresh, I'm feeling good, and ready for today's gym session. Beautiful fresh start to the day today. You can see the garden's a little bit of a building site, but all for good cause. Absolutely beautiful. I really can feel spring coming in. You can actually see the European plum trees starting to blossom as well, which is great.
Being so explicit as to offend the delicate reader and fuck up my book sales. But this is such a pivotal and astonishing experience in my life and my relationship with Jada that I feel impelled to roll my literary dice. We were in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. It was one of our favorite hideaways. We had rented a beautiful hacienda in the hills. Jada and I had spent a raucous evening in the company of our dear friend.
Right, okay, now the frosty morning has passed, you can actually see the scratches that have been caused on the splitter. So I haven't got away with it as much as I thought, but yeah, I thought I'd come back to it because it looked like I'd completely over dramatised what I'd done. But as you can see, I haven't. It is a little bit messy out here. I feel very disappointed with myself. Well, I had a very pleasant session this morning, managed to work kind of like a bit of an all-body workout. I hit my legs, chest, triceps, and what else did we do? I think that was it. Oh, and biceps as well. So yeah, it was a little bit of a full body or half body workout today. It was a good session. I always like on the weekends kind of just go with how the body feels rather than being too structured. And so that's what we trained today. It was really good. And then we had a little bit of brunch, which was lovely. I had scrambled eggs, salmon and sourdough. And I think Lids had a avocado Benedict. It looked delicious. So yeah, got home and it's an absolutely beautiful day today. Like sun's out, blue skies. It's quite chilly, but it just looks like spring. So I think I'm gonna go out for a couple of drinks with my friends. Hello, darling. And yeah, just catch up with those guys. But before I do, there are a couple of little chores that I just want to do around the house. So I'm just gonna get those tidied up. It's almost tempting to get out in the garden as well because, like I say, it just looks so nice out there. But I think that there's not too much to do because at this time of the year nothing really grows, and with all the work that's been taking place in the garden as well, like it's pointless even starting on anything to do with the kitchen garden because at the moment it's like a building site out there, as you saw. So yeah, I think a gardening day is off the cards, but I am actually really looking forward to getting out there again. It's actually been really enjoyable over the last year or two, getting out into the garden. And of course, bee season, we're going to be coming into spring, which is obviously when the bees are going to start waking up again. I say waking up, I mean like coming out of their hive more. As the temperatures increase, before you know it, we'll be back on the hives. And I think this year is definitely going to be a year where they try to swarm. So that's going to be a challenge. You know, last year they were really pressing for supersession or supersedure and swarming potentials. So nothing actually ended up happening. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this year, but they're definitely going to be geared up, ready to do something. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But again, something else to look forward to as we come into the warmer months, as well as just seeing like the woodlands just come to life again. It's just such an incredible process how it just slowly kind of like develops into that summer woodland, and everything's just full, and we get this really kind of like cozy kind of private feel as well. Like it's lovely looking out across onto the fields and seeing the sheep and stuff during the winter and autumn months, but in the summer you get this really sort of like encapsulated cozy feel, and it's just really nice. So looking forward to the summer months for sure, and getting back onto barbecues and all of the good stuff. But anyway, I am going to go and put some scruffs on because currently dressed a little bit too smart for be doing some housework, and yeah, we'll get cracking. Well, the first job of the day is in the cloakroom by the front door. As you can see, I've got the cork in here ready to go. Where you can see the boxing in the corner is something called a Durgo, which is like, I think it's like an aeration. It regulates like pressure possibly in the waste, and occasionally that will leak a nasty smell. And where the waste pipe comes out the back of the toilet, there's a gap underneath it where it wasn't fully sealed, and then slightly on the left side. So I haven't got, unfortunately, some of this like deep red sealant, but I have got a clear sealant which will do the job. So I'm going to run that around the toilet and get that sealed up, so hopefully we can get rid of any bad smells that come from this cloakroom. That's job number one. And then the second job is to resit the artwork in these frames. So as you can see, I think it's just when they're getting cleaned, they're getting like pressed, which is fine. It just means that when they're getting pressed, the art's just slowly wobbling down, and then you can see the cardboard strip behind it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backs off, take the artwork off the wall, obviously, take the backs off, and then try to maybe put some blue tack or something just underneath to try and keep them held up, so when they're getting cleaned, they don't wobble their way down and we keep on having the same problem. So I've got two of those to do as well, and they're my main little chores to do before I go and enjoy the weekend. That's one sealed up waste. the most pleasant of jobs, but has to be done.
And I am saving a seat for you. Not if but when you come around. I'm used to getting my way around.
Voila! One down, one to go.
On a screen. And waking up from a dream.
Freshly picked carrots from the kitchen garden.
Yeah, they're the last ones.
Oh, pick them up, put them out.
You naughty boy.
Finished off doing my little chores. I'm going to quickly grab a little bite to eat. Today's options are chili garlic. Chili garlic? Yeah. Chili and garlic chicken with turmeric rice, salt and pepper turkey Asian style noodles, and quinoa rump steak with spiced pear dressing. I think I'm going to go for the steak. That is going to be my lunch today. I haven't actually talked about these on my channel. So these are from a company called KBK. Not at all sponsored or affiliated with these guys, but my manager came over a few weeks ago and left a couple in my fridge, which were going to run out of date before he came back. So Lids and I took the advantage of enjoying his lunch, and we really enjoyed them. They're chef prepared, fresh food. They last for about just under a week. And I have implemented these into my structure as like a meal prep, because I was on a little journey and still am on a little journey just to try to reduce my body fat. And going back to when I was really into my fitness and I was really into training, I know the sort of maths behind trying to get into shape and what I need to do to achieve those goals. And so this was just a really efficient way of achieving those goals of mine. And I went into and still am in a 500 calorie deficit Monday to Friday. I have the weekends off. I do what I want over the weekends within reason, just to keep me mentally sane, because running a deficit isn't the easiest thing for me personally. Lots of people find it fine. Personally, I find it causes me to feel a little bit hangry at times, but the walruses over there battling for the title of the bone. Excuse me.
Naughty sausage walruses.
I feel like we need to like layer over like a David Attenborough soundbite.
And the older sausage dog.
I don't think that's what he would say.
And the more mature sausage dog.
I don't think that's what he'd say.
Dominating.
I think he would call them by their correct name, which would be a miniature dachshund. Or
Is dominating the youngster.
he's taking advantage for sure. Anyway, back to the food, back to the good stuff. So I don't know where I got to, a little bit lost, but essentially I have decided to implement these as a way of ensuring that I'm staying on top of my calorie intake, because there were times when I was eating like 1,000 calories at dinner, especially when we're having those pastas with the cheese and the sauces and stuff. So I've decided that this is just going to be a temporary measure that I implement in for possibly a few months. And what I will actually do is, when I get to my desired body fat, which many of you may remember, I was on a journey of gaining weight, which I achieved. I put on over a stone quite quickly. I'm now on a journey just to reduce some body fat a little bit. And so to achieve that, I'm going to be using these. And then I will slowly start to increase my calorie intake by about 100 calories a week until I get back to my BMR, which is my basal metabolic rate intake, which will be, for me personally, it's around 2,400 calories a day. You can use calculators online to calculate what your BMR is. And I've just been using a body fat caliper to monitor what body fat percentage was on my stomach before I started and now. So it's only sort of like estimates. It's nothing too technical. I'm just using it as a bit of a gauge. I'm not going into competing or showing or anything like that. I don't want to get to like crazy low body fat percentages because I'm not quite sure how healthy that is. I just want to get a little bit leaner as we're coming into spring, summer. It's just a personal preference of mine. And like I said, I'll be enjoying what I want over the weekends, and Monday to Friday I'll just be using these for some lunches and dinners, just to try to make sure that I'm staying on top and not snacking and basically diverting from the plan. Putting the work in the gym, so I thought I may as well put the work in the kitchen as well. So yeah, that's the KBK for you. And there we have it. One lunchtime meal. Yeah, baby. Well, that was absolutely delicious. I think very soon they're going to be actually allowing you to order the exact meals you want, because currently you just have to have what they give you, which Lydia sometimes isn't too fond of some of the meals that they send out. Luckily, I'm not a fussy eater, so it kind of works for me quite well. I think it'll be really good when you can actually select the food you want. But anyway, I am going to not sign off this video, but I'm going to sign off until next week, because I'm going to go and enjoy the weekend. So yeah, I'll catch you next week. You can't come down here, Lumi. Unbelievable. Lumi's coming for an off-lead walk with us. Probably been out for about half an hour and she's still following. You enjoying your walk, Lumi? Exploring the big world. Yes. Spring lambs. You see them all in the background. Looks like they're getting fed. Running through. Look at them go. Aww. Breakfast time. Little lamb.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I've come down into the basement this morning, and sadly the sump pumps haven't been getting rid of the water, so we're currently almost flooding. Got the boys down there fixing up the pump. The old Can Electrical. That is a better sight. The water started draining back down into the well. That's what we like to see. So the boys have been, and they managed to clear out, as you can see, the well. And right here in these boxes are brand new connections that they've put this, you can sort of see on the outside, this gel. This means that they can be submerged in water and the electrics won't trip. And I'm just about to cable tie the boys. I'll be back on the tools again. I don't know which way this went in. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that way.
That way?
Yeah. The way you, the way you've got it lined.
Nah, I remember now. It was this way. So they were there and there. What's your uncle, mate? Job done. Here comes the big boss. Here comes the big boss. Yes. It has been a very busy day in the office today, but today's pancake day, and so I'm going to get busy in the kitchen and I'm gonna do lids and eye, some, probably have a little bit of both, might have one savoury, one sweet, we'll see. I think earlier on we got some maple syrup and bacon, so I'll probably have that first, and then afterwards I'll probably do like Nutella. I'll see if we've got any fruit, I'll see what Lids fancies, and yeah, we'll go from there. So let's get cracking. Now we're talking. Come on, Porcini. Let's get this show on the road. Right then. It's your first pancake day, my boy. Isn't it? Yes. I don't think there'll be any pancakes for you though, but you can watch. What a treat. So we've got the bacon in the oven. I am going to be doing pancakes using butter. And we've just used the Thermomix, which I appreciate is a very lazy way of mixing pancakes, but it's also a very efficient way. And we've got the maple syrup out. I think that we're probably going to be going for the Canadian maple syrup from Waitrose. We've had that before, it's absolutely delicious, but equally, Lids might come in and say we're having the Buckwood, which is also a Canadian maple syrup, so I think we're in for a treat either way. They're both going to be absolutely delicious. So, let's get going, let's get flipping. You're looking good. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, baby. She's about to get flipped up in here. Looking to impress the boys. Pancakes looking good.
Life's looking good too.
We've gone for the Waitrose maple syrup as expected. Everybody's out to have a look.
The whole family is
Yes, they are. I'm just finishing off the last one now.
Am I waiting for you?
Now you can carry on whilst it's warmish. Lemon and sugar. Well, those pancakes were a success. Lydia said they were the best pancakes she's ever tasted in her whole life, and
Did she?
not quite. Do you put lemon then sugar or sugar then lemon?
Lemon then sugar, because
Yeah,
the lemon
also.
makes the sugar stick.
Yeah. How much lemon do you like?
Enough.
Enough.
You've got two very pointy schnoots.
How much sugar would you like? Lids. I reckon that'll do. Delicious. And for my second pancake, notorious. Of course, the one and only, the good stuff. Oh yes. Oh yes, look at that. Oh yes. It's gone big. Oh my god. has gone big, my little sausages. So the big question, are you sweet or savoury? Or are you like me and Lids, where you have sweet and savoury together? Because the maple syrup and bacon is a bit of both. So we're obviously a bit more sweet, aren't we? Because we had a bit of both and now we're having sweet. I can't believe how much sugar I put on and you're putting on more.
You put so much lemon on this that it is so sharp.
Right.
So before you get your camera out and film, there's method to the madness, unfortunately. I'm literally
You can scrape off the lemon.
Okay, well, I might just add a little bit more.
Although when you look how much sugar's in a cake, then really it was
Exactly.
not
Although
much.
I'm not eating a whole cake.
No, although this is literally like eating it's like the stodgiest pancake I think I've ever made. It's insane. Paul's got his cigar in. That isn't a peace pancake, by the way, that is a, what are they?
Yak chew or something.
A yak chew. Sounds delicious.
It's like a milk yak chew or something. It's for puppies, so it's only meant for Barkley, but...
Porty steals them. There's no control in you,
No,
mate.
Porty has to have one too. They get treated the same.
I know.
The Gilded Age.
Oh yes.
Very excited.
I'm looking forward to it as well. It's getting better and better. Well, we've got the morning coffee. I've gone for a oat milk coffee this morning, and I've got the Roja perfume latest edition Apex and this really beautiful floral display from McQueen's. And then inside, I'll tell you what, you'd think after all these years of doing this I'd be really good at doing one-handed unboxings. I'm so not good at them. Oh, there's the bottle. Oh, lovely. Oh, that is lovely. That is very floral. That is really nice. What are the notes in that? Right, so some of the notes that are in the fragrance are frankincense, mandarin, pineapple, and fire balsam. Wow. Very, very lovely. Thank you, guys. So we took these boys on a walk this morning and they are absolutely, look at those big size. In sync. They're absolutely exhausted. My job of the morning is to get the 2 new doormats down around the back door and also the front door, which I'm kind of not looking forward to because the last time I did this I cut it a little bit too small, and I really don't want to do that again. It's an expensive mistake and I only have one take, so we're gonna have a go and take as much time as needed to try and get these mats to fit as snug as possible, because they've just been like trashed, and obviously having puppies, they've done toilets on them, etc. So we just want to freshen them up, and fingers crossed we don't have any more accidents on them, and they'll be used just for footfall, not for pooful. So yeah, we're gonna get cracking with that straight away. One down, one to go. Now the last mat that needs to be done, possibly the most important, because the trigger of actually changing these mats were because Lumi obviously goes out the cat flap here, and this mat has been peed on by every single dog that's probably stepped into this house, and we're not 100% sure, but we're wondering if one of the things that's deterring her from going out of her cat flap could be the fact that there's so much dog pee, so much scent and smell on this mat. So we're going to be replacing this mat, and hopefully that will kind of get rid of that problem. I'm also going to give her cat flap a good clean as well, just to sort of freshen it up in here, because what we're finding is that sometimes Lumi will walk down and she'll stop before the mat and she'll turn back, come into the house, and then she may do a toilet on one of the sofas or armchairs. Obviously this isn't a permanent thing, this is something that she's only been doing recently, but because of all of this we've made some changes so the dogs won't be able to get back to this section to do toilets on here anymore, which will hopefully give her the space and the scent-free environment that she may be looking for to get in and out of the house. So we're just trying to establish ways to make her more comfortable, and we thought there's not much we can cling on to, but that's something that is a potential, so that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. So I've now got to get that mat over there.
Yeah, little puddle ducks. Look at them.
Two girls, nice.
Yeah. Hello, duckies. Hello, duckies.
Well, that's the second job complete. It looks nice and tidy in here now. Mat arguably fitted better than it previously was. It's very tight, just what I wanted. Nice and snug, so we'll see how we go. I've also given Lumi's cat flap a nice clean. Take a look over here, you can see we've got the start of our blossom coming through. It's always a lovely sign, especially on a miserable grey day like today. Nice to see that spring is on its way. Isn't that just a beautiful sight with quite a horrific sound in the background? Lovely to see. Also, it looks like we've got a little nest coming up here. Just about to start. Yeah, definitely is. That is a new nest that's being built. Well, you know what we're going to be documenting on this vlog then? A little bit of bird watch. See what's going on in here. That is a lovely little place as well for a nest. It's like arched like this. Just completely holds it. Right, I'm going to sign this video off. I've just been out in the garden chatting to the lads, and last year, something I'm not sure I've actually mentioned on the channel was that we had aphids all over a lot of our roses and plants, and essentially what they've just told me is that, sorry it's a bit blue, the reason why this is the case is because the frosts that were in, I'm going to say April, that were quite continuous, and I kind of remember them, and I did notice a lot of the magnolia trees had not flowered properly because the frost got them. He said that that meant that the ladybirds were held back and they weren't out there basically eating the aphids, so they really thrived, which is what causes essentially them to do their toilets, which has a knock-on effect which causes black spot on roses, which lots of you will probably see on rose petals, and that's basically a bacteria that grows on the poo from the aphids. So if that's true, fingers crossed this year we don't get as many frosts, and this year we won't have all of the aphids and all of the black spot and poo residue on our plants, because whilst insects are very important, everything in moderation. But just to go back also on what I was talking about the mats earlier, because I'm not sure if I've discussed it on my channel, I know Liz has on hers. Essentially, Lumi has been toileting in the house as of the last few weeks, and we took her to the vets. They said it was probably behavioural, and so we were like, right, and then a couple of days later she started to bleed, so she was weeing blood, and so I took her straight back to the vets again. They then said that they think that it's probably stress related, and that they will do some tests. They took some urine samples, they ran some tests, and they didn't find anything, but obviously there is something that is causing her to, or was causing her to bleed. So they gave her anti-inflammatories, and we also had some stuff for urine infections, which we've been giving her, some medication, and that sorted out the blood almost instantly. And then for the last few nights, bar yesterday, she had stopped weeing. But because we were trying to understand what could have caused her to be stressed, of course we've had Barkley, it could just possibly be the introduction of a new animal and change. Apparently cats are quite prone to getting quite stressed out, especially when there's change. So we've just rejigged the house just to give her a little bit more space, and Also, just to try and ensure that all of the dog's territories that they've marked and scented, that she doesn't sort of feel like squashed out. So we're just giving her a bit more space, and changing the mats was one of those things that was obviously going to make her feel possibly more relaxed and at home in when she's coming in and out or entering and exiting the house. So that's one of the reasons why we did the mats, plus the fact that they had been toileted on, and hopefully they won't be doing it anymore, so we can put some nice fresh new mats down. So that's just to elaborate a little bit more. Lumi is doing fine. She's acting completely normal. She's eating all. Her weight is good. The vets are happy. We just need to make sure that we stay on top of her and give her lots of TLC. So that's just sort of to elaborate on that, because I'm not sure if I'd kind of talked about that at any length. So yeah, that's Lumi. But anyway, I hope everybody's having a great week so far, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. We'll see you then. Peace.
I see